Hi there everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Prestige Liquids. My name is Andrew, and as always it is fantastic to have you here with me again on another whiskey review video. Now in today's video I am going to cover a style of whiskey that I haven't done for quite a while now, and that is to review an actual scotch. So today I have for you a nice bottle of the Glen Grant Arboralis. So this is an NAS release from the Glen Grant distillery. With this particular release, it has been bottled at 40% ABV. Let's pour a little bit there. Yeah, so bottled at 40% ABV. It has been aged in ex-bourbon and ex-sherry casks. As I mentioned, it's an NAS, but from some of the research that I've done recently, I believe that the whiskies that have been used in this are aged between 5 to 10 years old. So yeah, let's get to it, and let's see what we get for the tasting of this Speyside scotch. So cheers on the nose. Okay, so then this is like outright typical Speyside. You're instantly getting like fresh red apples, pears, orange zest, orange juice as well. It's very it's very fruity. And then as those fruits kind of like edge out a bit, you get this nice soft pepperiness that comes through. I'm really enjoying that pepper note. It really balances out the fruitiness. So when you would consider that those fruity notes could be quite dominant, that pepper just comes in and just changes the dynamic of the nose altogether. It's got a certain mineral note to it. I'm also getting honey and vanilla, and then also like raisins, dried figs, and there's a light nuttiness to it as well. It's got quite a lot going on the nose. So let's see what we get for the taste. Okay, so straight away the mouthfeel is very thin. There's not much texture to it at all. It's pretty much like water. But as it opens up, it's got this soft oaky note that's there at the forefront. But as that fades away, then you start to get some more like light notes of barrel char. Those apples and pears come through. There's definitely a lot of orange. I'm picking up a lot of like cereal grain notes. Yep, so again, so the cereal grain, and it's just, and then yeah, sorry, yeah, just a very like faint hint of honey and vanilla. Yeah, a faint hint of honey and vanilla that just rounds it all off. I would say by this stage, this is one of those whiskeys that is very enjoyable. The nose, I think, is definitely a lot more well-rounded and a lot more enjoyable than what the palate is. You do get more from the nose than what you do from the palate, and I think the major letdown for the palate was more so the mouthfeel. I mean, you do kind of expect that from a 40%, but then at the same time there are also a lot of 40% ABV whiskies out there that just hit, yeah, they punch way above their weight grade. But unfortunately this is where this one falls short. Moving along to the finish, you can expect much of the same, just dialed down a lot more. So again, it's very light, very smooth. The only main difference that I'm getting from the finish is that I am getting more of a floral note than what I am getting, say, fruity notes. So those fruity notes are still there, pretty much the same as what you would get from the nosing and the palate, but it is not as prominent, but you are getting a bit more, say, floral notes coming through on the finish than what you were getting from the other stages of the whiskey. So, as I said, all in all, this is a very enjoyable whiskey. It's not going to be one of those ones that are just going to blow your mind. It's not something that's the most amazing whiskey that you've ever tried, but I think for a beginner, it's definitely a very good entry point. So just to take a look at the bottle, that's it there again, the Glen Grant Arboralis. Yeah, for an entry point whiskey, I think it gives you pretty much everything that you would want. Some nice dominant notes. It would definitely help you build your palate. Yeah, just that's it. There's not much more I have to say. So going on to like the housekeeping side of things, if you're new to the channel, please consider hitting that bell notification and the subscription notification so that you can stay up to date with all future content. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for joining me along my journey. I always appreciate having you all here with me. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you all again on the next video. KIPPIS.